pretty face. I am so excited for today's makeover guest. She has an MBE, she's a singer, songwriter, MOBO award winner, fellow West Midlander, and general fabulous, lovely, the nicest person you will ever meet. Today I will be doing the makeup for the gorgeous Beverley Knight. We'll be talking all things makeup, industry, and everything else in between. So go and get a cup of tea, sit back and relax, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye! So I always like to start prepping the skin first, and I'm using one of my favourite moisturisers, which is Ombre Release. Moisturising that into the skin and letting it sink in whilst you work on brows. And brows here I'm using Benefit Brow Gel, which is fantastic, just to shape the brows. And give it a little bit of definition. I always like to brush the brows up, and then I'm going onto the skin, and I like to prep the skin with a little bit of oil, which is today I'm using Lime Life by Alco. Moisturise that into the skin on the high planes of the face, and then I just use a little bit of mattifying gel in the T-zone. And then we are applying a little bit of highlight, and this one is by nicest. If you guys don't know about Danessa, you need to go check her out. Onto brows, I'm using Spiked Eyebrow Pencil from MAC. You can see here I'm going underneath the brow first of all, just to make it slightly thicker, and I like to do really short strokes to mimic the shape of the brow. And this pencil's really good for doing that. Just cleaning up underneath the brow with a little bit of concealer, just to give it a little bit more of definition. And I like to use a skin toned concealer. So basically a concealer that's as close to Beverley's natural skin colour, should I say. And onto the eyes, the OPV Ocean palette. Really nice colours. That I'm going to use to create like a bronzy golden eye. First of all, I'm covering it with a base. Here I'm using Painterly Paint Pot by MAC, and I use that almost like a primer to kind of prime the eye. It helps the eyeshadows stick and last a lot longer, so I'm doing that on both eyes. You don't really even have to be that neat with it. You just need to kind of just cover it. And then I'm using a brown shadow here to create a crease. And I like to do my eyes with my eyes open first of all to create the crease, and then go in with this kind of coppery colour on the mobile lid. So I'm blending the two together here. And a big fluffy brush is excellent for doing that. A smaller brush is good to kind of tap on the product if you're using like a shimmer. And then I'm now going to use a black kohl pencil at the lash line, and I'm going on to foundation now. This is Too Faced Born This Way. It's a really good foundation actually. I'm really loving this foundation. So I'm using that all over Beverley, and make sure that you also use it down the neck as well. Using a little bit of concealer to go over any points that the foundation hasn't picked up on. Now using my gel from MAC just to go over the eyes. And I'm using the shadow underneath as well, and a little bit of concealer to clear up just in case there was any fallout. So onto my favourite part, which is contour. I'm using a product again by nicest, and this is like a warm chocolatey colour. It's actually a concealer, and I'm using that to carve out the cheekbones And then I'm going back in with a flat foundation brush. I also like to use my fingers as well, but I just want to make sure that there's no demarcation lines. I just want to make sure that everything's blending in seamlessly. Apply your favourite mascara. I like to do this before I apply the lashes, just a really thin coat really. And here again, I'm just blending, making sure that I'm happy that everything's blended into each other. Down the nose as well. And blend it into the hairline. I'm using a little bit of translucent powder now, just in the T-zone. I want to keep the shine all on the cheeks, so I'm just using it on the areas where we naturally get a little bit shiny. So forehead, T-zone, along the jaw. And then I'm going in with a little bit of contour powder, taking it down the nose and making sure that it all ties in really nicely. Applying a really natural set of lashes and blusher. I decided to go for a chocolatey lipstick. I'm outlining it with MAC's Bittersweet pencil. And then I'm going in with Patricia Bright's collaboration lipstick that she did with MAC. And I'm going to fill in the whole lip with that. After I've done that, I'm just going in again, using a lip brush and making sure that I'm happy with all of that. And I always like to go back in over with a lip pencil and really perfect the lip. Make sure that it's all nice and neat. Adding a little bit of highlight by Danessa Myricks. Going over it all again with a little bit of powder. And I decided to add a little bit more blush. And there we go, guys. Look who I have here. It is the gorgeous Beverley. Hopefully you would have seen the previous part where we did this gorgeous look and we kind of went for bronzy, browny,
kind of autumnal.
Yeah, chocolatey lip. So make sure that you watch that beforehand. And now I'm just sitting having a bit of a chat with my girl, really.
Yeah.
Just finding out what's going on, how's things.
Oh, things are great.
Yeah, you are busy.
Yes.
Yes.
Very busy.
I don't know how you manage to do everything and still like walk around with a smile on your face.
Do you know something? The more you manage to do in the music industry is the bigger blessing it is. Okay. I mean, I'm so lucky. Yeah, I managed to do so many things.
I know.
And so many different kinds of things as well.
Yeah,
so, I guess when you love what you do, you make everything work.
I was just about to say, so it's like, when did you know you had your gift? And does it feel like work?
Well, I knew I could sing at a very early age. That I knew.
Okay.
I was about 3, 4. I didn't know that other people couldn't sing.
Yeah.
My head couldn't compute that. I just didn't understand why people
can't sing. Trust me, we all can't sing. Funnily enough, do you know what happened to me the other day because of you?
Oh dear, go on.
So when we were at Chizzy's party,
right,
and you were singing,
yeah,
I started singing along. So, and I was actually doing an Instagram story, singing along with you.
Right.
And it was the first time I heard myself sing. I cannot sing. I cannot sing. I don't know whether I was trying to imitate you, but I can, and then the whole of the world got to hear that I can. So now I know why my children cry when I'm trying to sing. Like, yeah. So trust me, yeah. We all can't. We all can't sing.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought everyone could sing. So I realised it was a gift when I went to school.
Okay.
Because I was surrounded by a family who could sing. I was surrounded by musicians. When I went to school and heard people, not only could they not sing, but couldn't hear what I was hearing, that was when I was like,
okay.
what I do is special, it's different.
Okay.
It's, you know, and then even comparing other singers to myself when I was at that age, I realised that my particular voice had a particular sound and a range to it that others didn't have. That was when I realised, okay, I've been given something that is very unique and I need to look after it.
Okay. And then from that moment, like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
was it?
And I must have been about 9 or 10.
Gosh.
I knew I was going to sing.
Isn't that a blessing? 'Cause most people, they go through their whole lives trying to figure out what it is that they want to do.
That they want to do,
Yeah, so that's amazing. So
I was lucky.
9 years old, fast forward to what, 1995? Was that when you
Yeah, 94 I signed my deal.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And how old were you then?
I was 21. Madness.
Gosh. So walk me through that then. So then you get your...
So I was, Zane is trying to get the piece of paper, which is not going to happen. Zane wants to be in the interview.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, bless him. So I was at university and I was studying and loved it and everything, and I was about 19.
What were you studying?
And I was reading religious studies, and my minor was performance arts.
Okay.
So I knew I wanted to sing,
Okay.
but I also knew I wanted my education because I'm fanatic about studying. I love it. I was at the time singing in clubs and that around Wolverhampton, so around home, and there was a guy who had a big soul record out at the time, a guy called Sinclair, and the song was Casanova.
Yes.
And he came to do a PA in this club and I was warming up. So he arrived with the guy from the record label who was the A&R guy, who, very briefly, A&R is usually the one that spots the talent, nurtures the talent, and then encourages the talent to find their own voice. So the A&R guy, Mark Sher, was there and approached me and said, I'd be so interested in, you know, looking at you potentially signing a record deal with us, come to London, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I'm at uni and I will finish in 2.5 years' time. So
was that your response?
If you want to wait, then yeah, I'm up for it. But I wouldn't let my studies go.
Okay.
They waited.
Did they?
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
I was like, no one was going to get in the way of my studies.
That's amazing.
I knew if it didn't happen then, it was going to happen somewhere else musically. I just knew it was going to happen. So I was like...
And did they literally wait for the 2 years? Was it like 2 years, ring ring?
They waited. We started in about 2 years. Yeah, they started to put paperwork and that together and kept in touch. So when I was in my final year of uni, that was when I signed my deal.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And then fast forward 25 years later.
I know.
Does it feel like 25
No. When I look at like the fact that my first album was available on CD, not on cassette, and CD, and also vinyl. I mean, everything was on vinyl back then because that's how DJs played, you know. And now it's available to download. Do you know what I mean? It's like, times have changed so much. So when I look at the technology, I think, yes, things have completely changed. But when and there's a lot of time, but when I think of myself and I look in the mirror, I'm like,
No.
it feels such a short space of time.
Gosh.
It's a quarter of a century.
Such an achievement.
It's mad.
Such an achievement. And so you're going to be doing your concert next year.
That's right.
Yeah, so that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
And why not to celebrate?
Oh, you got to celebrate.
Of course.
You know, when I came through, it was at the height of Britpop. Oasis versus Blur, you know, guitar bands ruled.
Oh gosh, I'm feeling
Britannia.
Yeah.
My career predates the Spice Girls, so you think how long ago that was, and I'm still here doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's to be celebrated.
100%.
And when I came through, there was no soul music that was being celebrated on radio. There was no R&B outside of what was coming from the States, and it was only the big hitters who were having hits in Britain. R&B and soul music was not on British radio.
So what do you think, why do you think you've lasted, apart from being super talented?
Thank you.
And also actually super talented and super nice, which I think actually goes a long way, because working with personalities and celebrities, then it's not a given that they will be nice. And I think, and the team's nice as well. I don't think it's always a given that you know that you can roll with those people. So do you think? I mean, what do you think has made you stay current, relevant?
I think I have made the right decisions for me. I have the really great team. It's a small team. It's a loyal team,
and they've been with you.
And they've been with me the entire way. And I'm not one for chop change, shots change, because that speaks to inconsistency on so many levels, and that's not really me. There's been a lot of luck, but there's been a lot of dedication,
hard work,
and hard graft. And I just kept going, no matter what was coming my way. I just kept going.
And have there been any challenges? And were there any moments in those 25 years where you were like, nah?
I never once wanted to quit. Never once, because my motivation was the music, not the industry, not the fame. The money's nice, but I did this long before there was money, long before. And I do a lot of things still where there is no money.
And that's the difference, isn't it, I think?
I just love what I do, and it has been challenging. Being a woman in this industry, everybody wants to tell you how to do it, how to write a song, how to string chords together, you know, how to look, how to pose, how to... The kind of things that are just not given to men at all. Men are not directed like that at all. It's like... But that's just how it was. You know, you smile sweetly and kiss your teeth and get on with what you're doing. That's how I did it.
I think that must have been quite challenging, especially for starting out in the industry at the age that you were.
Because I was young and I was a singer-songwriter. People were like, really? Are you really, dear? Yes, I am.
Good.
Dear. You know what I mean? And Flavour was the first thing I wrote on a professional level, and that went. It went. So I was like, told you, I'm a songwriter. I'm also a performer. That's been the biggest key to me sticking around. I'm a performer. When I'm on stage, I inhabit the stage. I know that. That is just my being. And I do what I do live. That has been a massive, massive bonus. Live music endures.
There you go. I think that's the answer, really, isn't it? I think because a lot of these manufactured, well, I don't want to say manufactured, but I think in order for you to have a successful career, you probably need talent, luck, and hard work. Percentage-wise, is talent being able to sing live? Do you think is that integral? Is that
if you want? It depends what you want out of your career. I wanted a career in music, and for me a career is a life.
There you go.
My life is music and theatre as well, and so the talent is the prerequisite. You know, you can't go into it without the talent, and for me it's a huge percentage of it, and being decent is another huge percentage. You know?
So you think, the industry's changed now, wouldn't you say? So if you were to pick up Beverley 25 years ago and pick her up, drop her now into this, would she survive? What challenges would she face now as a black, British, UK singer? Are there different challenges?
I think the industry-wise, you've got a lot of black British artists all working together, which was something that didn't exist back when I first started. The labels kept us all quite separate, but because labels don't exist in the same way that they do now, a lot of artists speak directly to artists, get together, do things, and so have brought each other through. That's how grime started. So I think I might have been able to build a network of people more easily than I did back then. Having said that, I think it would have been pretty difficult just to be heard, because everybody's a blinking artist now. Everybody's an artist.
Everyone's a makeup artist. Everyone holds a brush as a makeup artist.
Absolutely, yeah, it's the same. Everyone with a mic is a singer now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, would I have been able to break through?
Yeah.
I'd like to think that my strength as a singer and as a performer would be enough, but
would you have gone down the X Factor route? No, it's not your thing.
No, because music to me is an art form and not a blinking race. And it's certainly not a race to the bottom.
Right.
So,
because I think that has changed the whole structure, language of how we see artists. It's like 1 minute you're stacking shelves in Asda, next minute you've got a #1 hit.
Oh, well, you're being called an artist when you're actually a contestant in a TV show.
And it's very different, I'm sure.
And it is so different.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, you had Opportunity Knocks, which was the big talent show, and that was an all-encompassing talent show.
Yeah.
And occasionally, you'd get exceptionally talented people who would break through and come through. Lenny Henry started just before my time, New Faces. That was a big talent show. And then Opportunity Knocks replaced that. So that's how these things used to happen. The uniquely talented would go through. These days, it's like you've got all the runners in a line, and we're going to give every single one of those runners medals, and you've all won. You haven't really started, you haven't done anything, but you've all won.
Yeah.
But they're signing everybody in the hope that something, they throw enough mud, something will stick. And I am not in any way cussing those people. If someone hands you an opportunity to say, go on telly and sing and see what you've got, a lot of people are going to take that. As you see, a lot of people do take it. It's not their fault, it's the way the show is structured and the way that particular industry is structured means there's going to be a lot of broken hearts and a lot of people who aren't equipped for a lifetime of music, who are going into it and then getting all screwed up in the head.
I can imagine. Because I'm sure a picture's painted which isn't actually the reality of the industry.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's a separate industry to the one that I am part and parcel of, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. However, there are some people who have come through that route who are great, so you can't argue it, but they are the exception, they are not the rule.
So what would you change then in the industry as it was now? What would be?
I wouldn't want a TV show which was so gladiatorial where,
so you completely scrap that.
I hate that. I like the idea that people are on YouTube and can broadcast themselves, but then what you do is you look at those people, you look at the ones who have got something that you can see is special, get in contact with them and nurture it. I believe in mentoring and nurturing and allowing people to find their own voice, not let's have 1 million cameras on them and they're super duper stars before they've done anything and their first gig is, an arena or something, and they don't know the basics of how to win a crowd. They don't know how to perform. They don't know how to, in a lot of cases, they've never written a song. I mean, that's no bad thing. Some people are writers and some people are not. But all the trappings of success without actually having the success. You know what I mean? And
it's a recipe for disaster.
I take all of that away and I'd go right back to what it should be. Let's start with the talent and develop that.
So are we talking about a Beverley night talent school? Is that what we're trying?
Oh my God.
I can kind of hear something in the pipeline.
Oh God, no, I don't know. I don't know if I'd open a talent school, but I must say, I look at what Stormzy's done and I look at people like Drake and that, I look at Akon and I think those are people who have gone out of their way to use their considerable platform and success to create opportunities for other people, and I like that. That appeals to me.
I think you'd be amazing at that. And also, there isn't that many black women that are doing that, And I think it's also important for the next generation for for black girls to be able to see that. I think it's really important. Like,
Yeah.
if we're trying to steer them in the right direction, then I think that's something that
Yeah.
maybe we'll plant the seeds and see
Maybe.
see what happens.
See what happens.
So what do you? That brings me on to, so what would your legacy be? What would you like to be known?
Oh, I hope people look at my career and say, my God, she could light a stage up.
Yes, you can.
That
I have seen you, and yes, you can.
that would be perfect for me.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that Bev, she did it on her own terms.
Yes, yes. I think it's important, isn't it?
Because that was everything to me. I wanted the career that I wanted, not somebody else's vision of what I should be. I wanted what I wanted, and that's what I like. You know, she lit up a stage and she lit it up on her own terms.
I think you have very much done that. I think that's a perfect way for me to end the interview, and you definitely have lit up the stage and continue to shine.
Lit up my face.
Continue to shine.
I
We
will.
appreciate you.
Thank
There's
you.
so many man, woman, you know, they speak about you in so much high regards, and I think it's really, really important that we support you.
Thank you. We support each other.
Yeah, we can keep on championing each other. This is another reason why I'm doing this channel. I think it's really important that we make sure that we support sisterhood, and we make sure that we're out there and we're talking about what our girlfriends are doing, and you know, we're the first people to be championing them and whatever they're doing. So whether you can sing like Beverley, or whether you're thinking about singing, that I hope that you've taken some of the words that Beverley has said and it resonates with you, and there's a Beverley there.
Yeah.
In the making.
In the making.
Yeah.
Better than me. Fly, way above where I am. Do it.
Yeah.
But always be nice with it.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You've been amazing.
Thank you, love. And thank you for this face.
Oh, you're most welcome. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Absolutely.
Bye.